Oh, I agree. I agree completely. And I call it the foundation of your house is that you think about a house. If you're a marketer, if you're a business, if you're a B2B salesperson, especially, the last thing you need to be looking at is some of the paid elements out there. So for example, if you got a house, you don't build it on sand. You build it on sand, it sinks. So if you're only out there doing Facebook ads to drive a bunch of traffic to you, but you've not put the content in place that when they find you or they research you that you're legit, then you're just going backwards. I always tell people, like, you want to find out about me, go to mattplapp.com. I've been blogging since 2009 on there. And I've been talking about the same content the entire time. I've been talking about Facebook posts since 2008. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal that people need to be able to research you. And it's kind of like, you look at a house that you can't put a second floor on it till you have the first floor. You can't put a deck until the house is built. You can't put a pool without a yard. Well, honestly, in my opinion, your marketing strategy has to have the ability that have referrals to LinkedIn outreach, Facebook outreach, email, texting, messenger. All of that's once you've exhausted all of those elements. Actually, I've got it right here. Once you've exhausted all of those elements, then you should be going and doing ads.
And here we go, guys.
Good thing. Most people say, damn, he's got a process.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Process.
Damn, he's got a process.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of The Process. Today, we're blessed to have Mr. Matthew Plapp with us. I mean, you want to talk about just a sales boss. This guy, I'm telling you, his techniques for sales is going to literally knock your socks off. But before we even get into that, we're just going to talk about just have a conversation, just share some wisdom. I mean, Matt's been in the business for how long, Matt?
That's my 11th year having an agency.
11 years with an agency. How long have you been doing sales?
Since I got 1998, 99, so 20 years.
20 years. And it's 20 successful years, which is what's important. So very blessed to have you guys watching this with us and have Matt on board. And we're just going to continue with our conversation. I think we were talking about some really cool things, and the audience is going to really appreciate it. And we were just having a conversation before this even kicked off about just people's expectations, right? Like starting a new business, a new enterprise, a new whatever it is. You think you're just going to do like one thing and all of a sudden everything's going to fall into place and people are just going to trust you enough to know that you can deliver on what you promise. Like, it doesn't happen like that. And Matt was just kind of going into some really things about that. And I kind of want to get that into the show. So here we are.
Yeah. So what we were talking about was, I get it asked all the time. So I've got, I deal with restaurants is a big part of my journey. And I deal with agencies. And the one thing I hear a lot from business owners, and especially agencies, is, and even a lot of B2B salespeople, is that they're looking for that one magic bullet. I'm going to run a Facebook ad that's going to lead to an opt-in page, and that customer is going to book an appointment and buy from me, and I'm going to spend $25 and sell a $10,000 deal. And I'm like, that can happen, but my question always is three things. Number one, how deep of pockets do you have to spend the money? Number two, how much content do you have in the catalog that you've used that proves your expertise? And the third most important part is how many people have you nurtured through that process? Because I look at it like a bullseye. If you look at a bullseye, there's a big circle, a medium circle, a little one, then the bullseye. Everybody shoots for the middle. Well, there's more people that can buy from you on the outside parts. The problem is nobody wants to talk to them. It's like me, before I had these cool sunglasses, nobody wanted to talk to me. They wanted to talk to me. Now they got the cool sunglasses, so I don't talk to those people now. No, seriously, don't you love glasses? But my concept came from that people always were asking, how do you get clients? And I'm like, well, honestly, it's not one thing. On a weekly basis, I do LinkedIn outreach, Facebook outreach, text messages. I have one-to-one meetings with referral partners. I have phone calls. I have video calls like this. I do business drop-ins. I go to networking events. I do probably, I'd say on a low week, 100 videos. On a high week, 200 videos. and I put them throughout internet land, YouTube, Facebook, my blog, emails, LinkedIn, different groups. And what I have found, and I get people all the time say, I just want to run an ad and get people to schedule an appointment and book a call with me. Well, the people that do that, number one, are going to suck as prospects because they were too damn easy to get. And they're probably not going to pay you, and probably not going to be great down the road. But number two, it's not going to work because it's kind of like you don't walk up to a girl at a bar and say, hey, by the way, you want to get married next Wednesday and have my baby the following week? We expect that in business.
Wait,
and it doesn't work like that.
Time out. You mean that doesn't happen to everyone else? Like just me? I think Matt's breaking up over there. Matt loves to do these things while he's driving. Like that's kind of like his personality. He's always moving forward. We have a little bit of friction here, but we'll figure it out. It actually looks like he's moving right now in slow motion. Like he's really at a crucial point.
Just you.
Yep, there it is. This is Matt Plapp in action, folks. Like he's really into it. He's motivated. He's trying to get it out. He's making his point across. We get to see it right here in in slow motion here. But yeah, pretty much what we're talking about. Oh, we actually lost Matt. I know he'll jump back on here. But what we're saying is this, like, it's not just one thing most of the time. Like, there's little things that you can do, things that are free, by the way, that will help you influence your prospects and influence your target market so that way they eventually trust you enough to buy from you. Because it's very hard for you if you don't have equity, if you don't have testimonials, if you don't have proof. If people don't know your expertise, how are they just going to give you a credit card and expect, and you expect them to just pay you by saying that's not a question? Like, it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter how much money you pay on a platform. If people don't trust you or know of you enough, then it's just not going to happen. And there's things that you can do for absolutely free. That doesn't cost you anything. That'll showcase your expertise, allows you to build up your brand, and you couple that into marketing, and there you go. Now you have that magic formula. Because what marketing does, it accelerates your success or it accelerates your failure. If you don't have things in place to actually handle the volume or actually motivate people, you're just going to find out that right now you suck. You have to deal with it. You suck. But when you do have those things in place and now you put a paid marketing strategy behind it, you're going to get to your success even faster and you're golden. Hey, man, I was just holding it down for you while you were, doing your thing over there. Can you hear me? We still have a little bit of technical difficulties, guys. You know what, though? If anyone has a problem with this, just email.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Any issues with this, guys, just shoot me over an email, and I'll gladly refund you the money that you paid to watch this video. Yeah, so let me actually – there we go. All right, so we were talking about just having a media mix, and you can't just rely on one specific thing to get you where you want to go. Obviously, it might end up being one system, one process, one platform that you're marketing is getting you a lot of results. But everything you do coupled with that is also influencing people, and it's really sparking them to make a decision on that platform. Maybe it's your Facebook ads, but
your interest rate.
Hold on, let me actually do that. All right, guys, we're back with Matt Plapp. We're going to keep on talking about sales and just diversifying your marketing. So, Matt, I'm going to let you take it over once again, my friend.
Yeah, so we were talking about just content, and I think a lot of people have this they're uninformed. They think that they can just turn on a Facebook ad and prospects or, I don't care what industry you're in, that people are just going to go, hell yeah, I want that. It comes down what I find with me, what works the best is the fact that I get literally on a weekly basis, I'll have a conversation with somebody. I'll ask them, how'd you hear about me? What do you know about me? Why are you talking to me? I get pretty commonly this exact line. Dude, I've spent more time on your YouTube channel than I have with my wife the past 5 days. And when they see that amount of content out there, it gets their attention. So now all of a sudden, you're not just some schmo that they saw a Facebook ad. There's somebody that they saw your content. And that's when you can start retargeting them, is when they get to a point where they've consumed your content and now you're more than just some guy that knows how to do ads.
I feel like Facebook ads, without what you're saying, without the content to back it up, without the brand and the credibility, I think they work best when there's an extreme offer, right? A lot of people, they're running ads, but it's like a free trial or a heavily discounted item. So the offer is actually making people, getting people to take action. And when you're doing B2B, when you're doing certain type of, of sales or business, you don't have that opportunity. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to do an extreme discount, because then people are going to look at you a certain way, like maybe your services or the quality of work you do really isn't worthwhile if you're willing to discount it so heavily. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You need to have the Facebook, you need to have the offer, you need to have your paid marketing, but you also need to have your content as well, because they both work together. They coincide with each other.
Yep. Well, I agree. I agree completely. And I call it the foundation of your house, is that you think about a house. If you're a marketer, if you're a business, if you're a B2B salesperson, especially, the last thing you need to be looking at is some of the paid elements out there. So for example, if you got a house, you don't build it on sand. You build it on sand, it sinks. So if you're only out there doing Facebook ads to drive a bunch of traffic to you, but you've not put the content in place that when they find you or they research you that you're legit, then you're just going backwards. I always tell people, like, you want to find out about me, go to mattplapp.com. I've been blogging since 2009 on there. And I've been talking about the same content the entire time. I've been talking about Facebook posts since 2008. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal that people need to be able to research you. And it's kind of like, you look at a house that you can't put a second floor on it till you have the first floor. You can't put a deck until the house is built. You can't put a pool without a yard. Well, honestly, in my opinion, your marketing strategy has to have the ability that, have referrals to LinkedIn outreach, Facebook outreach, email, texting, messenger. All of that's, once you've exhausted all of those elements, actually, I've got it right here. Once you've exhausted all of those elements, then you should be going and doing ads. Like, this is my binder I use. This is my stuff. This is the things I do every week. Find a page here. These are the elements of what you should be doing. I want to spend 10 hours a week on the phone with prospects, with clients, 10 hours a week on emails and messages, 10 videos a week, period, minimum. LinkedIn outreach. I want to have 10 new solid LinkedIn connections. I don't go after mass. I go after really specific ones. Facebook outreach, 10 new Facebook connections. A lot of people are scared to be Facebook friends with their clients or prospects. Are you an idiot? I mean, become Facebook friends. Be able to comment on them and their picture. A client of mine had a baby yesterday. Being able to comment on his wife's post that he's tagged in, telling them both congratulations, makes me stand out differently than the guy that's coming by selling something else. And then business stop-bys, one-to-ones, and networking events. But keep track of it. Have a score. Know what you did, because if you, like in this case, the highest points on this is 66 points. Then if I get 66 points consistently week over week, I can promise you I'm going to close more deals next month than I did last time this year.
So Matt, where can they pick up a copy of that?
So, hell, I don't know. There's a link. I'll have to give you a link afterwards. It's in one of my Facebook groups I've got where it doesn't have a specific URL of how to buy it, but it's I call it the ROI Experts Weekly Planner. And it actually comes with there's a little membership site behind it that talks about, like, for 2 to 5 minutes each topic. What do I mean by LinkedIn outreach? What do I mean by phone calls? What do I mean by stop buys? What's a one-to-one? Yeah. Like, a lot of people have this misunderstanding of if a friend of yours sells radio advertising and you sell Facebook advertising, your idea of a one-to-one is to go sit down with him for an hour and sell him on how awesome you are. And it shouldn't be. Your idea of one-to-one should be finding out who his ideal client is, understanding how you can help his business, then helping his business. The minute you help him, guess what he's going to do in return? He's going to help you. So that's one of the elements. But I'll have to give you the link. There's not like a xyz.com to get it. It's roiengines.com/something.
Okay, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. What we'll do is we'll drop this with the video as well, so that way anyone watching it can actually follow up, get a hold of that, and be able to get a hold of you. I want to talk about some of your out the box sales techniques. I follow your content myself. By the way, Matt's dad is like this guy is amazing, and he talks about some of your exploits early on, some of your out the box ideas, which seems crazy, but it's like almost like Dennis the Menace. It's like, oh wow, it's out of control, but it usually works out really good. So I kind of wanted you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've always been a person that never really walked in with a proposal and sold something. I always nurtured the client. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
The one of the things that Dan brought up a while back that was a pretty funny one was there's a bicycle place down the street from me. And the guy had called me when I was in radio advertising looking for help. And so I sat down with him, put a proposal together. It was a big rush. He had to have it the next week. And so I got it back to him the next week. Never heard from him. And typically I would do an email and then a thank you note and then never heard from him again. And so couldn't get him a hold of me. This guy was literally like hot. Like I had to have this on the air. You're the person, you're the company, do it. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna get unique. So I went to my dad's house and I had a bike that we had bought from him, his company, when I was in like 5th grade. Underneath my dad's desk, underneath his deck, still had the chain on it, dirty, beat up. So I took the bike and I had a courier take it to his office with a note that said, hey, this is what our listeners' bikes look like. Let me put that ad schedule in place so we can get them new bikes. And this guy called the station up. I thought it was pretty damn clever. And he called the station and didn't like it. Told the GM, if he ever hears my name again, he's canceling his ads. He's never doing business with us. And my GM's like, I think it's pretty damn clever. So like 2 years after that, the guy calls the station, putting an order in. He goes, I'll put this order in, but if I find out Matt Plapp gets any commission, I'm canceling it. So that's one example. Now, and those work typically. So I didn't let that deter me because I knew the guy was just a jackass. That he didn't comprehend what I was trying to do. But one I did that worked really well also, and this one was great. This was a gold mine. So I had a company in Cincinnati that sold yachts. They sold 45 to 50-foot Carver and cruiser yachts, which in Cincinnati is not a huge market for it, but this guy had them. So I went to him and I said, hey, you don't need to be advertising on the radio as much, but what if I get you in front of some high rollers? He's like, what do you mean? Well, in Cincinnati, there's a place called Riverbend, and Riverbend it's a music, outdoor music place. Well, it's on the river. Well, if you're parked behind the stage is on the river facing the grass, but if you're parked behind the stage on the river, you can hear the entire concert. And so I got with John. I said, John, here's what we're going to do. I've got a client of mine that owns a wine company, a client that owns a catering company. They will cater a cruise for me for 20 people. You give me a pilot and have the boat. I will promise that there will be 20 high-level business owners on this boat every other week for a concert. So your boat will be being used by the people who can buy it. And then my standpoint, I'll be able to entertain clients in a different manner. So I started doing this. Within 6 months, we did it for 2 years. Within this first six concerts in the summer that first year, I had other reps, clients calling me. Hey, bro, how do I get on the cruise? I'm like, oh, you work with Mike. This is for my clients only. And it got to a point where like literally clients were talking about getting changing their ad rep because they wanted to go on the cruise. And my client loved it because he's getting 20 people every couple of weeks that are owners of car dealerships and owners of big firms and CEOs. And I'm hobnobbing with these people, and there's no sales pitch. It's just me and that guy and his wife, a bottle of wine, some nice appetizers, and we're on a 50-foot boat listening to a concert on the Ohio River. And the clients, it was kind of funny because by the time it got to a point where I actually was presenting them with something, there was no sales pitch. It was literally, well, how much is it? Where do I sign? What do you need from me? So that was a big one. Probably one of my funner ones, though, I did that really worked out. This is easy. Anyway,
how did it go with thanks, Matt. So did he sell any yachts doing that?
Yeah, he sold a handful.
There you go. And I mean, these things aren't cheap, right?
Oh no, his yachts were 150 to 500 grand. But yeah, he would sell about every 3 or 4 cruises because I was putting the right people, because I knew that in order for him to keep doing it, he's let me use the one yacht we used most of the time was $1 million 54-foot Carver yacht.
Wow.
And so
how much was it cost? Like, I just want to break down the ROI on this. Like, what was it costing him to have a pilot there? You know what I mean? Like, what was his cost per?
The pilot was zero because the pilot was also a salesperson who was the one that was selling the yachts.
So literally, he had almost no cost.
Oh yeah, his gas. I mean, we would maybe a couple $100 in gas because we would motor up the river, throw anchor down, and then hang out. So I mean, literally from his standpoint, when he looked at, he said, "Matt, if I sell one boat out of this over 5 years, it breaks even."
And you're saying that you're selling one every like 4?
I'd say probably one every 4 or 5 times we went out, he would close a deal.
So you're looking at about $800 for a $150,000 deal.
Yeah. And that was low. He had some that were 500,000, 600,000, 700,000.
And that's just by being creative, strategic, and using your common sense. You're like, hey, the best place isn't to blast this out to everyone because 98% of people can't afford yachts, right? But let's get the people who can. Let's refine it. Let's take these people. Let's show them the experience. Let them feel the wind in their hair. Let them, wine and partying, and now they can feel that. And, oh yeah, I kind of want this. Like, yeah, we can get this, honey, right? And now you're one out of $800 to generate $150,000 plus. Matt, that's genius.
Yeah, it worked well. He enjoyed it, and he ended up selling the dealership and get out of the business, so we stopped doing it. I also got out of radio then. That was back in the early 2000s. I'll tell you one that worked really well that anybody could do is I hooked up with Krispy Kreme donuts. Krispy Kreme in Cincinnati had opened a couple locations, and I hooked up with Krispy Kreme, and I happened to meet the guy one time because I went there, and I'm like, hey, I want to buy bulk donuts every week. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I'm going to go 3 times a week. On my way to work, I'm going to stop by your store. I'm going to pick up 10 dozen donuts, and I'm going to stop by 10 businesses on my way into the radio station and drop these off with a business card and just shake a hand of somebody. And so the Krispy Kreme guy, after he heard what I was doing, was like, dude, I'll give you the donuts. Just maybe give me some marketing somehow, put my flyer on them because we get offices buy donuts, obviously. And so I would do that. And it was kind of funny. What I would do was I wouldn't go in and try to meet anybody. I would like reverse psychology. I would go into the business and say, hey, hey, Peggy, I'm here to drop these off for Mike. By the way, I don't have time to talk to him though. I'm running some stuff. I wanted to swing these by and just put a name with the face. And Mike would come out like, hey, Mike, how are you? Here's some donuts are dropped off. I appreciate you coming out. I don't have a whole lot of time right now. I'll get in touch with you at a later time. Maybe we can sit down and figure out maybe what each other does. And I would leave. But one, most people in my situation would have tried to steal that guy's time and sell him something right then and there. The fact that I wasn't doing that, I was standing out in this guy's mind because I was like, hey, I'm coming to you. I'm respecting your time and getting out of your hair. But at the same time, I'm too busy to hang out and talk. And here's some donuts. I'll talk to you later. And literally within a couple months, the radio station was kind of ironic was I had such good success with closing deals on this and getting appointments that the radio, my boss heard about it because she was seeing all those results. And I was like, man, what are you doing with all this Krispy Kreme and how are you doing it? And they made it mandatory. And we got with Krispy Kreme and he would give us 100 dozen donuts a week. And it was mandatory that reps had to stop by the locations and get donuts and go to their clients. And what was funnier about that, reps were mad about it. Sales reps were seeing me the #1 highest paid rep in the entire building out of 4 radio stations. And I was doing this to get the highest income. And they were bitching because now they had to go by and get donuts and stop by and drop these off.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Like, Matt, that is brilliant, my friend. I like, and the fact that they couldn't appreciate that now they're literally taking your system, right? And we both know back in the day, if this was 2018, Matt Plapp would have created a system, created a digital program, and selling that for $10,000 a pop. They got it for free and they're complaining.
Yep.
I think we lost your visual, but you know, as long as we can hear you, we're all set. So
hold on. Let me see what I clicked here. Hold on. There we go. I'm back.
Oh man, so Krispy Kreme donuts bringing in business, and I want everyone to realize it's not the donuts; it's the framework. You look like someone saw the effort you put in, and the fact that they were willing to give you that. I'm sure most of them were willing to give you that time right then and there, but you were thoughtful enough to say, you know what? I know you're busy. I gotta get out of here myself. Let's find a later date where we can actually connect and make this thing happen. You know, see how we can help each other.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Like the psychology of it, the framework of it. It's all like I truly believe that all marketing is a good marketing. It just positions the sales. You know, that's all it's meant to do.
The biggest thing in sales and marketing that people fail at is they don't sell between the buy. And what I mean is that if a company is going to buy something on January 1st and then they're going to buy it again on July 1st, most salespeople come and go. They're there January 1st. When they get it or don't get it, they're gone until July 1st. It's what you do between then that makes an impact on that decision. And it's the same with consumers. I'm 42 years old. I'm sitting in my 28th car. You know how many salespeople have ever followed up with me? Zero. I've never bought a car from the same person.
It's insane. Like Joe Polish talks about that. Just how bad the fall is in the in the car industry. But Matt, this has been brilliant, my friend. I don't want to give anything else away. I mean, I think this is just something you can stew on. You can now the challenge is, right, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to incorporate this mindset, this framework into what you're already doing or into something that you're going to try in the future, because it really is human to human. Don't look at it as your cost per sale. Look at it as your cost per conversation, right? What can you do to showcase your expertise to people and better your business? Matt, any last, first of all, how can people get in touch with you if they want more Matt Plapp?
MattPlapp.com on Facebook, MattPlapp.com, or Matt Plapp on Facebook. MattPlapp.com is my website. My email address is matt@mattplapp.com. LinkedIn, Matt Plapp. Twitter, Matt Plapp. I'm not active on Twitter, but I'm there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, and I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm on. I have a private Facebook group that if people are in that vertical, they can message me, maybe get in if it fits the bill. But I'm a giver. Go to YouTube and look up Matt Plapp, and you'll see hundreds of videos, and they're not sales pitches. They're, hey, here's how I would do it, or here's how I'm doing it now.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, tuning into another episode of The Process. Today we had Matt Plapp, and trust me, guys, he'll be back on here, dropping more value. And appreciate everyone's time, and have a blessed rest of your day.